So where do we actually think that this Graham situation is actually going? Because I don't know if he's going to end up with Kim or Rona at this point. Like, I actually don't. Obviously, he also found Kim's will, which he's told Joe about, and obviously Joe's found out about basically Kim leaving everything to Lydia and stuff like that, well, like the house and stuff to Lydia, which of course Joe's not going to be happy about, so I can see this causing major trouble. Poor Bear, obviously, it's all unravelling. He's trying his best, he's really trying, but obviously, like, he's getting annoyed at the questions they're asking him, and so obviously he's like, I killed him, and I meant it, and everything, and of course, because he said that he meant to kill them, the charge has now been changed to murder, which is obviously awful. Um, yeah, completely awful that the charge has now been changed to murder, and I actually think that this is what's going to make Paddy be like, I need to tell the truth. As hard as that is, I don't think there's another way. Also, love the fact that Archie has worked Kerry and Jay out, and I think obviously now that it's been mentioned to Eric, Eric is going to be watching, and potentially this is how Eric's going to find out what Kerry and Jay have been up to. So obviously Eric caught Kerry and Jay, which obviously I don't think he's going to be happy about, but Kerry and Jay don't know that he's caught them just yet. I love that Kane is moving back home. I think it is the perfect thing. Like, I know it's sad with the farm and stuff, and obviously he wanted to keep the farm, like he really, really did, but I just think it's the best thing for him. I mean, like, Sam and Lydia and Belle and everybody are just going to be there to help him and help the boys and make sure that the boys are getting to school and getting everything they need to do. Also looking after them while Kane gets the treatment that he needs, but at the same time giving him the distraction of, like, they want to set up this farm and everything, and actually the Dingles are stronger when they're together, so it's only going to make them stronger, and I'm perfectly sure they can take down the Tates with this, honestly, because it just makes them stronger being together. So sad news about Paddy and Dylan though, isn't it? Because obviously they've had to go and tell the truth. I really do feel like there was no other option. I think they needed to tell what had happened, because them actually explaining exactly what happened is more proving Bear's point of self-defence. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was trying to get Ray to stop doing what he was doing, and it was as simple as that. And, you know, it wasn't like a malicious act that he just murdered them for no reason and that was the end of it. Do you know what I mean? He was doing it because, like, he was actually trying to get him to stop. And I don't think he would have stopped if Bear hadn't killed him. So, yeah, it is the way of proving self-defence, isn't it? So, I'm not going to lie, guys, but I'm not happy with Joe setting up this account in Lydia's name. How dare he try and do something to Lydia? Lydia's been nothing but a help to him and to Kim and to everybody. And I don't think Kim's going to be happy with it either, because, like, ultimately, he's obviously angry about this will situation and the fact that, like, Graham found Kim's will and he's seen what's in the will and everything like that. But at the end of the day, like, Kim will tell him if he does pull her up on it. Like, it's my choice. It's Kim's choice and no one else's. So he needs to just put up and shut up, basically. So Kerry was going to tell Eric about her and Jay, but she chickened out of it and didn't do it in the end. The news just kept getting worse for poor Mandy. So basically, Zara, the solicitor, comes round and she's basically explaining what the situation is, and she's saying that basically in order for this to all work, they need, it would have been good if they, obviously there isn't, but it would have been good if they had another witness that was going to come forward and say what Ray was, that he was going to kill Dylan, that Ray was going to kill Dylan, because then it can be proven self-defence a bit more. But yeah, it's all a bit of a mess. And of course, Mandy and Aaron asked Laurel, and Laurel wasn't wanting to do it. She was like, I'm not going to lie, like, to the police, I'm not going to lie, I would do anything to help you, but I'm not going to do that. And obviously Arthur hears this and he's not happy with Laurel at all, and then Arthur goes to Mandy and Aaron and says that he'll do it. So yeah, I mean, I don't think Arthur will do it. I think Laurel will come back and do it before that. But yeah, I'm really glad that Graham found out what Joe was up to. Obviously he was going to try and make it seem like Lydia was stealing her Kim to try and basically get Lydia and Kim to have an argument. But yeah, I'm glad that Graham absolutely found them out. So whoop whoop for that, obviously. And he got Dawn involved, which obviously Dawn's like, why do you not just have an honest conversation with Kim? I kind of feel for Joe in a sense, because I feel like to him, holding the farm is the only link to his family. So I feel like he's trying to hold on to it with everything he's got. But rather than being honest and trying to explain that to Kim, he's obviously manipulating people and, going around it in a wrong way. So I feel like Dawn's absolutely right. He needs to sit down and just have a conversation with her and explain how he feels. And who knows, he might get a different outcome. Poor Eric, I think he just feels that if Jay gets his claws into Kerry, that she's basically just going to kind of leave him high and dry. I don't think she would do that, I really don't, but I understand why Eric feels that she will. Obviously go to the little alarm thing and that he could press it and it would get through to it and she'd be able to come to him and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I feel like he's just fearful that if Jay gets his claws into her, she would just leave and not really do very much, but I don't think she would. So big day for the farms, obviously. Kane and the Dingles started Dingle Farm and Robert's back at Emmerdale Farm and they've got the new signs and everything like that. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be like with the two of them. So love that. And then also big stuff for Bear and Paddy and Dylan and everyone. So basically, obviously Paddy and Dylan, their hearing got brought forward and they got home and then they obviously found out that Arthur's at the police station trying to make statements and they stop it all and everything. But basically, long story short, it's ended in Dylan basically posting a letter to the police saying that he's the one that killed Ray and that Bear and Paddy had nothing to do with it. I really feel sorry for Dylan. I feel like April obviously knows this because he told her on the phone, and I feel like April needs to go and tell Paddy immediately and they need to do something about this, basically. Poor Isaac, with everything going on, it's no wonder he's having a wobble. He doesn't really know where to go, does he? Or what he's supposed to do. But I'm glad that Lydia and Sarah and Sam and everybody have said, look, if you don't want to talk to your dad, you can talk to us because we need to talk to someone sometimes, don't we? We all need to. Kane is obviously desperate to get this farm sorted, but I also feel like that is a little bit of a front, to be honest. Eric testing Kerry, obviously, I have no idea what he's doing that for. I feel like I don't think Kerry will ever abandon him. I really don't. I think he just needs to relax about it a little bit. Finally, Joe told Kim the truth, so we'll see what ends up coming from that because I definitely think that Kim will think on it and think about it. So obviously Graham managed to get Dylan back. Rona asked Graham, thank God that he got him back and everything can be okay. But yeah, also he retrieved the letter that Dylan gave to the police. Obviously Rona's taking the credit for this and Aaron is taking the credit for getting him, which I think Aaron is fine to do, but Rona taking the credit for the letter, I just feel like it's going to backfire. I feel like they're going to find out it was Graham and I don't think that Madeleine's going to be too happy about it if they do. But I'm glad that Dylan's back and hopefully they can try and get things sorted now, so yeah. So bad news for Kit, obviously, with the witness turning up about the attacks. Obviously the witness has absolutely recognised him and is obviously so sure that it's him, which obviously is right. So Kit's kind of he's threatened the witness and been like, I don't want any trouble and everything like that, which I don't know, will this witness actually take it forward? Because if he takes it forward and says something, then there's going to be a lot of trouble for Kit, let's face it, because everybody's going to be like, what on earth were you thinking and what on earth were you doing? I loved Ali and Sally and I'm so glad that Sally's made her say sense. However, I don't know what Alia's going to do about what could come with this now, because obviously the lawyer, the Fabian's guy, is already threatened to ruin her career and to stop her forever and stuff. So yeah, how is she going to get out of this? I just don't know. I feel bad for her, to be honest. So looks like it's all about to spiral for Megan and Will and the whole situation. So basically, obviously, Sam collapsed in the street, and of course, Leanne and Toya and Nick were already at the hospital trying to work out what was going on, and they found out about the ADHD medication, which we know that Sam shouldn't have been taking, and he was, and basically he overdosed on it, and that's why he's collapsed. So they need to obviously make sure that there's no damage and everything's okay. So he's getting all checked out and everything, and obviously Leanne is not stupid, right? And she's like, there's something more to this because he's such a good kid and he's not the type of kid to ever just get into this stuff. So there's got to be a real reason behind this, and obviously that's what she's thinking in her own head. And Leanne's like, I'm just going to ask. And of course Sam is like, no, it was just because of the exams. It was just because of the exams. And he sort of doesn't say what the actual problem is. And I'm so annoyed that it was the ending because I need to know what's going to happen. Leanne seen it in that window when Megan was in there saying stuff to him, and you can see how scared Sam looks. Like, you can just tell that he's absolutely petrified of her. So of course Leanne's going to be like, why are you scared of her? What has she done? What has she said to you that's making you clearly be scared from her? Because you're clearly very terrified from her. So yeah, looks like Leanne's going to be the one to get to the bottom of this whole situation. And if you know, you know, Leanne Battersby ain't the one you ever want to mess with. So Megan better start running, I'd say. So Mal is wide awake, and I'm not going to lie, guys, I personally think that he actually knows that it was Kit. I think he's kind of playing games with him. I mean, like, because, like, the way that he said, oh, say hi to your mum for me and things like that, like, yeah, I just think that he knows that it was Kit that attacked him, and I think this might go on for a little bit because I think he's going to kind of play games with Kit to try and no let this come out, and Kit's not going to be wanting this to come out, but he's going to be like, well, you shouldn't have attacked me, and I think he might actually get quite horrible to Kit, to be honest. Poor Sam, although thank God that Leanne and Eva and Toya know. I think Eva didn't want to believe it at first, but then I think she could absolutely see when they pulled Megan in, and Megan trying to use the crocodile tears and being all upset and trying to make it was all another way. I think Eva, like, all three of them, Eva, Toya and Leanne, just saw straight through it and was like, do you know what, she is lying. But yeah, I don't think Ben is going to like this when he's told this, and I don't blame him. I don't blame any of them. I really, actually, I'm starting to feel quite sorry for, not just Sam, obviously I feel sorry for Sam because of everything that Megan's done to try and get him to be quiet, but I also do feel a bit sorry for Will because I just think that poor Will actually really does love her, and I genuinely don't think that he realises what she is doing to him because he's so blinded by the fact that he loves her. So I think we all know that Theo is only doing this to try and make Todd jealous, like when he was acting with Sean and stuff. And honestly, I don't blame Todd for moving on, but I feel like Theo is going to do something about this because he's going to be so jealous and he's just not going to not do anything about it. So I can see him turning up at this meal in the bistro and obviously spoiling it all and stuff, this meal that Todd's got. And then obviously the massive thing of today was that basically Ben and everybody basically found out what Megan's really up to, and Megan has finally been arrested for it. Whether they're going to have enough to make this stick, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's going to be all about finding evidence now to basically make these charges stick with her. And obviously it was so emotional with Will at the very end because like you can just tell that Will loves her, and like none of this is his fault, and all that he wanted was for her to be able to be there for him. So honestly, absolutely awful. Like, I just feel so sorry for him, poor kid. So do we really think that it's Rich that's saying this to Adam and Ali, or obviously their stuff's got leaked, like private conversations has got leaked on the internet, and obviously Ronnie wasn't very happy with it because stuff about Debbie was in there obviously, so he was like, what are you all about? But yeah, I don't know if it really was Rich or if it was someone else, but yeah, I'm thinking it probably was Rich though, but they're obviously going to have to be careful because obviously they're going to have to watch what they're really doing now, because especially if Adam's representing Megan, as we all know she's a wrong un, they're going to have to watch that nothing that happens with her doesn't come out, because people could absolutely hate them, like. So I'm not going to lie, I feel really sorry for Will. Obviously they've not been able to hold Megan because they've obviously not got enough owner and everything, so of course she's out, which is just devastating obviously, because they would just rather that she started to get punished for what she's done, and obviously that's not happening. But I also, like, I don't know if it's doing this for you guys, but it's kind of giving me a little bit of flashbacks to Nathan and Bethany, because I remember when Nathan got arrested the very, very first time, and Bethany wouldn't admit anything, and like she wouldn't believe what they were saying, like she was saying that he was a loving boyfriend and everything else, and I feel like Will's really similar. And it's kind of interesting to see it the other way around, and I kind of feel really bad for Will because I feel like he genuinely loves her, like he's in love with her, and he really doesn't know what to do. I feel like the next step is obviously Leanne has seen the pregnancy vitamins, and people are thinking that she's still pregnant. Even though they thought she got an abortion, they're thinking that Megan's still pregnant. So the big questions are, is Megan still pregnant? And if she is, would she be willing to do a DNA test to see if it's Will's baby or no? Because if DNA proves that it's Will's baby, then obviously it proves that she's been manipulating him. You know, she's been with someone, a minor, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think the next thing is trying to prove DNA over the kid, if there is a kid. So Theo, I mean, what is he thinking, Spike and Todd? Just the most stupidest decision ever. And I just feel really bad for Todd. I mean, he can't break free, even though they're supposed to be split up and they're not meant to be together, but he just can't break free of it, can he? Theo's constantly there, constantly trying to do something to annoy him and to get to him, isn't he? So things seem to have spiralled a bit for the Megan situation. So basically, obviously, they've all told the police that they think that she's still pregnant, and obviously Kit has said to her to do a DNA test. Now, at this current moment, Megan is absolutely refusing to do a DNA test. She's saying that she doesn't need to, but the kind of good news about this is it's made Daniel realise, and Daniel is obviously now thinking that she's a liar because she won't do this test to prove that she's not. For obvious reasons, because we know that she is lying. So yeah, she won't do the test, and it's just causing loads of fights. And to be honest, Adam's getting it a little bit in the neck from everyone as well. And I don't know, like, I know that Adam's representing her, but at the same time, like, it's not his fault. Like, he hasn't done anything or hasn't been involved, but everybody's basically trying to get him to stop representing her, and yeah, he just won't really at the minute. Now, I don't know how Megan's going to get out of this. I don't know if she is going to end up doing a DNA test in the future, if she maybe isn't going to have a choice. But yeah, it's looking a little bit sticky for her basically, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, that's it for Corrie and Emmerdale this week. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Bye!